The highway doesn't look like a highway anymore. It looks like a parking lot that stretches to the horizon. 4 lanes, 8 lanes, every lane, stopped. Not slow, not crawling, stopped. You're sitting in your car, engine running, AC on, watching the fuel gauge drop. The radio is saying something about mandatory evacuation. The GPS is showing red, not orange, not yellow, red in every direction, for as far as the routing algorithm can calculate. Outside, it's 91 degrees and rising. Behind you, 20 million people had the same idea at the same time. Leave, and now no one is going anywhere. You check the weather app one more time. The storm is still coming. It always was. The question was never if Florida could evacuate. The question is, what happens when the system that's supposed to move 20 million people hits a wall, and the wall doesn't move? If you've ever driven I-95 on a holiday weekend and felt your blood pressure climb, subscribe, because this is what that looks like when the stakes are real. It's a Thursday morning in late September. You're in Tampa. Coffee's brewing. Kids are getting ready for school. The news is on in the background. Meteorologists pointing at a spiral in the Gulf, talking about rapid intensification, storm surge projections, catastrophic potential. You've heard this before. Every hurricane season, the cone of uncertainty drifts toward Florida. Sometimes it hits. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it clips the Keys and disappears into the Atlantic. You check your phone. Category 3. Moving northeast at 12 miles per hour. Your neighbor is already loading his truck, just in case, he says. You tell yourself you'll wait and see. By noon, the mayor issues a watch. By 2 o'clock, it becomes a warning. By 4, the governor is on every channel saying 3 words that change everything. Mandatory, evacuation, order. You start packing. 30 minutes, whatever fits. Documents, medications, the external hard drive, the dog. You get in the car and pull onto the street, and you stop. Your neighbor, the one who left hours ago, is back, sitting in his driveway, engine off. I-75 is completely locked, he says. Didn't even make it to the on-ramp. You check Waze. Every major artery out of Tampa, I-75, I-4, US 19, US 41, is already gridlocked. Not delayed, not slow, gridlocked. The evacuation order was issued 40 minutes ago. 40 minutes. And the roads are already gone. This is the thing nobody tells you about mass evacuations. The window is smaller than you think. By the time the order is official, by the time it's on every phone and every channel, by the time 20 million people collectively decide to move, the roads can't absorb it, not even close. The math was never in your favor. Florida has 1,516 miles of interstate highway. That sounds like a lot. It isn't. Not when you're trying to move the equivalent of the entire population of Australia in under 48 hours. The state runs contraflow operations, reversing inbound lanes to create outbound capacity. It works, marginally. It adds lanes in one direction, but it doesn't add road, it doesn't add miles, it doesn't add gas stations. Yeah, and here's the problem that contraflow can't solve. Everyone is going to the same places. North on I-75 toward Georgia, north on I-95 toward Jacksonville. West isn't an option, that's the Gulf. East isn't an option, that's the Atlantic. Florida is a peninsula. There are exactly 2 directions out. Every evacuation plan in the state funnels 20 million people through 2 corridors that were built for routine traffic, not for existential movement. By hour 6 of the evacuation order, average speeds on I-75 are 9 miles per hour. 9. You could walk faster, for a while anyway. Think about what Florida actually is beneath the tourism brochures. It's a state entirely dependent on imported energy. No oil refineries, no major fuel production. Everything comes in by tanker, by pipeline, by truck. Gas stations hold, on average, down about 30,000 gallons underground. Sounds like a lot. During a normal week, it's fine. During a mass evacuation, a single busy station can burn through that in under 12 hours. And the trucks that restock them, they're stuck in the same traffic you are. The water system runs on electric pumps, lose power, which happens before major storms, and pressure drops. Cell towers run on backup batteries. Most last between 4 and 8 hours under peak load. During an evacuation, every person in the state is calling, texting, refreshing at the same time. Florida isn't just a place people are trying to leave. It's a machine that's failing in real time while they try. And the failure isn't dramatic. It's quiet, incremental, until it isn't. By hour 10, something shifts. It's not an announcement. There's no official declaration. You just start noticing it. The gas station at the I-75 interchange, the one with the line that wrapped around the block, has a handwritten sign in the window now, no fuel. Then the one 2 exits up, same sign, then the one after that. You do the math in your head. You have a little under a quarter tank, enough for maybe 80 miles at highway speed. Except you're not moving at highway speed. You're moving at a crawl, at idle, which burns fuel differently enough that 80 miles might become 50. And the next confirmed open station is showing up on your GPS as 63 miles away. You sit with that number for a moment. Somewhere behind you, 100,000 people are doing the same math and coming up short. This is where the system stops bending and starts breaking. Hospitals can't evacuate. Not fully, not fast. Set patients on ventilators, patients in ICUs, patients mid-surgery. They don't get loaded into cars and driven north. Staff stays. Generators go online. And the hospitals become islands inside the evacuation zone, running on fuel reserves that were designed to last 72 hours. Not a direct hit from a Category 4. Nursing homes are in crisis. Florida has more assisted living facilities per capita than almost any state in the country. Buses were supposed to come. Some do, some don't. The ones that don't leave administrators making calls no one wants to make. Bridges are closing. Not because of the storm, not yet, but because sustained wind speeds make them structurally unsafe for vehicles. The Sunshine Skyway, the Gandhi, the Howard Franklin. Every bridge that closes is another artery cut. People who were 30 minutes from the interstate are now rerouting through surface streets, which are also jammed, which also have no fuel. Supply trucks can't move in. Ambulances can't move out. The evacuation isn't failing because people didn't try. It's failing because 20 million people and a Category 4 hurricane are operating on the same clock, and the hurricane doesn't slow down. Now think about who's still on the road, who's still at home, the family that doesn't own a car. In Florida, that's not rare. Public transit was overwhelmed within the first 2 hours. Buses stopped running contraflow routes because the contraflow routes were gridlocked. The elderly couple in Pinellas County who decided to shelter in place because they've done it before. Because they're 91 years old and the drive north would take everything they have, physically, emotionally, financially. The single parent with 3 kids, a half tank of gas, $40 cash, and a credit card that works only if the payment system is online. The tourist from Ohio who flew into Fort Lauderdale on Wednesday rented a car and is now trying to return it to an airport that's shutting down, while also trying to find a hotel that isn't full, while also trying to understand how a state this large has only 2 ways out. These aren't edge cases. These are millions of people. And the evacuation plan, the official state-approved, annually rehearsed evacuation plan, was written for the average case. There is no average case when everyone moves at once. The economic math is staggering before the storm even makes landfall. Tourism in Florida generates over $100 billion annually. Every hotel, every theme park, every convention center shuts down simultaneously. The losses begin the moment the evacuation order drops. Airlines cancel hundreds of flights, not because of the weather, not yet, but because operations can't function when ground crews, pilots, and gate agents are all evacuating at the same time. The port of Tampa, one of the largest ports in the southeastern United States, suspends operations. Container ships are redirected. Cargo doesn't move. Small businesses that close for a week don't always reopen. Insurance claims will run into the tens of billions, and that's before the storm hits. The evacuation itself, the fuel burned, the hotels filled, the productivity lost, the perishables abandoned in powerless homes, is its own economic event. Florida's economy doesn't just pause during a mass evacuation, it bleeds, quietly, steadily, and for much longer than the storm itself lasts. By midnight, the highway has gone quiet in a way that feels wrong, not empty, never empty. But the horns have stopped. The engines idle in long defeated rows. People are sleeping in their cars, or trying to. You crack your window. The air is heavy. Different. That specific pressure drop that people who've lived through hurricanes recognize before they can explain it. The storm is close now. You check the latest advisory on the last bar of cell service your phone has. The track has shifted. 15 miles west of the original projected landfall. 15 miles. which puts the center of the storm directly over the corridor where 2 million people are currently sitting in gridlocked traffic on an exposed highway with nowhere to go. You set your phone down, and you wait. This scenario isn't a foregone conclusion. It's a warning with a blueprint attached. Fuel reserves can be pre-positioned. Strategic stockpiles along evacuation corridors, state-managed, activated automatically when mandatory orders drop, could extend the window by critical hours. Evacuation timing matters more than almost anything else. Studies consistently show that early voluntary evacuations, encouraged aggressively 48 to 72 hours out, reduce gridlock by measurable margins. The people who leave early save the roads for everyone else. Transit infrastructure needs a rethink. A high-capacity rail running parallel to I-75 and I-95 could move tens of thousands of people per hour without touching the highway system. Florida has the geography for it. It has never had the political will, and the hospitals, the nursing homes, the people without cars. They need dedicated infrastructure, dedicated planning, dedicated funding, not contingency notes in a binder that gets opened when it's already too late. The tools exist. The question is whether anyone builds them before the next storm or after. You think about that fuel gauge, quarter tank, maybe 80 miles, maybe 50. You think about the sign in the window of the gas station, no fuel. You think about the storm tracker in those 15 miles, and you realize something that no evacuation map, no emergency briefing, no weather alert ever quite communicates. The plan assumes the system works. The roads hold, the fuel flows, the bridges stay open, the hospitals evacuate cleanly. The people move. But systems don't fail in straight lines. They fail in cascades. One thing presses on another, and another, until the weight of 20 million simultaneous decisions collapses the infrastructure those decisions depend on. Florida evacuates successfully, most of the time. Most of the time is not all of the time, and the difference between those two things is measured in miles per hour, and gallons, and hours. The storm makes landfall at 3:47 a.m. The highway is still full. Some people made it. Many didn't. The ones who stayed will spend days without power, without water, waiting for a system that failed them to come back online and try again. Say, the ones still on the road, they'll tell you it was the most alone they've ever felt, surrounded by 2 million other people. Drop a comment. What would you do? And if this made you think differently about the place you live, subscribe, because the next storm is already forming.